Well, when it comes to choreography, we've been very fortunate because we've had some really great choreographers that we've worked with.
Yes.
Like we worked with Jewel of Denial, who helped us with the skin act, and she's helped us with something else too. You make me feel like dancing?
No.
No?
No. Jewel of Denial worked with me on My California Sunset, and If You Really Love Me, those acts.
Yeah, and skin.
And skin.
Yeah. So it's great to work with an outside choreographer.
It is.
But sometimes you have to do it yourself.
Sometimes you have to do it yourself. A lot of times you have to do it yourself. And even when we worked with Jewel on skin, because it was the two of us, what is natural, what is normal, what feels like the right next step in this story that we're trying to tell.
Sure, because even though, well, you've taken more dancing classes than I have, I'm not a dancer, really. So it is a lot of just leaning into what I do naturally.
Yeah.
Which reminds me of how we'd choreograph for a dog. Welcome back to Project Nutmeg. I'm Mr. Snapper.
And I'm Red Snapper, and Nutmeg and Chowder are passed out on the floor. This is exciting.
Finally.
Yes. Nutmeg is my little rebel, and today we are diving into one of the most important, and let's be honest, most fun parts of building our Return of the Jedi inspired act, the choreography.
In a previous episode, we talked about the practical side of the act, props, equipment, Nutmeg's trick toolkit. But here's the thing. You can have the absolute coolest props in the galaxy and it'll still fall flat without great storytelling.
That's where choreography comes in. It's how we connect all of the elements, the costumes, the tricks, the music, the emotion, to bring the story of Leia and Wicket to life. I have to say, I have some really killer costumes of my own, killer burlesque costumes. But without the story to go with them, it's just incomplete. I think story is incredible and story is important, and choreography helps tell that story.
Yeah. Because choreography gives us a map. It tells us when to cue Nutmeg, when to slow down, when to bring up the energy, and when to hit those big emotional beats.
We want the audience to feel like they're watching a moment unfold, not just a list of tricks, especially if we do this for her performer certificate. And we want Nutmeg to feel confident moving from one thing to the next. That's why we'll practice it in little segments and then we'll build it up to a whole thing.
You know, and this reminds me, because saying her tricks, it reminds me because you've worked as a performance coach for a magician.
Yes.
And with magic, it's literally individual tricks that for a performance you have to string together with a logical through line, which oftentimes means choreography.
Yes.
It means how are you moving, physically moving through the act, through the steps of the act. Yeah.
And I was a choreographer for a magician, not to make sure that they flourished the right way, but how can we string this together and have the story unfold and incorporate movements? I can't do the magic tricks. I can't. I don't have that skill or that passion to learn how to do them. I do know how some things work. It's all magic.
It's all magic.
But knowing how to string it together to tell a story sets you apart from the next person who also does card tricks. And you've learned the same skills to do card tricks, but why am I booking you to do card tricks? Why am I booking you to do card tricks?
Yeah, we know a lot of great magicians, but the one magician in particular that this brings to mind is Micah Cover.
Oh, yes.
Who is so extraordinary at telling a story with magic. And when you know a little bit about how it's done, obviously not everything, because Micah's mystifying. His Fool Us, he was on Fool Us.
Yes.
I've seen that trick so many times, I have no idea how he's doing it. And he's incredible, but he does that. He tells stories with the tricks, and he's stringing, different illusions together sometimes in a way that it's seamless and you don't see the individual tricks. And I'm sorry, Micah, I'm going from talking about your incredible art to a dog. But when you're talking about a dog doing tricks, at least it's Nutmeg. She's adorable.
He would be all for it. We sent a card to him.
Oh, right.
For Buster. He sent a card back with himself for Bus, and then we sent one back to him that was Bus looking at the picture of him looking at the card of Bus. So he's a great guy.
He's a great guy. So
it's magic.
It's magic. Similarly, with doing the dog tricks, you do want it to also flow through, so that you don't even think about like, oh, she's sitting, now she's jumping, now she's going over the Wicket. It's just there's a through line. So
yes, and that's actually part of the whole performance. Because you can go and watch a dog do set tricks, and that's cool. But the amazing stuff is when there's storytelling.
And it's true with, we geek out about this, so bear with us, but it's true of burlesque acts too. Glove removal, you're kicking off your shoes and doing a stocking removal. It's like they're individual skills, how you do those things, but stringing them together into a coherent story, even if the story is just, I'm taking my clothes off,
right.
It's still, there's still a through line, and making it not seem like individual activities that are just tacked together. I take off corset. I know how to do that. Doot, 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 doot. Exactly.
I take off glove.
So yeah, storytelling. Storytelling is a huge piece of this.
It is.
So the act starts with a soft, cautious moment. Leia, Red, wandering into the indoor forest. Nutmeg's hidden behind a prop. Maybe it's a crate or a log, if she's willing to be away from Red that long.
Yeah, she is. She's my little Velcro. Not sponsored by Velcro dog. And then she makes an entrance. We can cue her to come front or something like that, and she runs to me, and then we can have a tender beat where she sits and shakes and I pet her or something, some kind of loving interaction. It's all about establishing trust in the story.
Next we shift into playful exploration. Red will maybe have her circle and walk back on her hind legs. Nutmeg weaves between Red's legs. She jumps up onto a log, boings, maybe does a figure eight. We want this to feel curious and light, like two new friends figuring each other out. The choreography will be adjusted to suit the props when they're built.
And then it's mission time. We have to bring in more energy so she could run around props. This is like the agility section. She could go through a log tunnel, she could hit the A-frame if we decide to use one, or a Wicket. It's all about adventure and teamwork and showcasing her athleticism.
And then, because this is burlesque after all, we have a little cheeky moment. Red might slip off a boot, and Nutmeg does a sock peel. We have some fun with it, but it's gentle, playful, and totally on theme.
And that is a trick she has been doing since she was a puppy.
That's right.
Where I tug the end of the sock and she will strip it off. We wrap it all up with a triumphant moment where we strike a pose together and take our applause.
It's not just about what trick goes where. It's about creating a flow, an arc, and giving Nutmeg space to shine as both a performer and a character.
We're going to train this act in pieces, of course, so think of those as little episodes. Nutmeg will get a little reward after each chunk, and then slowly we'll chain them together, which is what we did with her debut act. That helps her build confidence without getting overwhelmed. And I do have to be prepared to give her extra treats as needed, because the audience is so thrilling for her.
Oh, she loves the audience.
So if I need to keep her on track and we can't do the chain of here is the entire discovery of one another, we're figuring each other out without giving her extra treats because she wants to go see the audience, she's figuring everyone out, then extra treats are okay.
That's right, because part of the choreography plan is flexibility. What if she skips a prop? What if she's far too interested in the audience? What if she wants to wriggle out of the hood on stage? That's part of the charm. We want to choreograph space for those real unscripted moments.
Like winking at the audience or, interaction for a burlesque performer.
Yeah.
We may show you some of the behind the scenes of our rehearsal process in an upcoming episode.
Yeah, that'll be fun. And remember, choreography isn't just about precision, it's about connection with your audience, with the story, and with your partner. In our case, that's Nutmeg.
Yes, but the connection right now is between her and the floor.
Because she is snoozing.
Yes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and boop that bell for notifications.
And may the Force and Nutmeg be with you. See us next time
Bye.
Bye.